And hello everyone, welcome back to FPL in the Trenches. This is Frontline Prediction League in the Trenches. For those new, this is the Frontline Prediction League, FPL. I am your co-host Scott. Joining me is BeerMe Jesus. How are you today, BeerMe?
I'm doing pretty good, except allergy season is finally here. It's like 90 degrees out, and everybody's mowing their lawns, so my sinuses and eyeballs are kind of killing me. But other than that, I'm doing ecstatic. How about you, Scott?
I'm good. I'm good as well. Temperature has warmed up here. It's getting close to like 15, 20 degrees Celsius. We're into that range. CT would call it cold. We're getting into that range though now. So and it's like when it rains, it just rains. It's not frozen or anything. So we're quite happy about that here. We got a lot of stuff to cover on this episode, and like I said, for those new, because Forbidden Door is the thing coming up. We're going to talk a bit about that as well as the normal stuff, so I'm going to preface this a little bit with explaining what it is. This is Frontline Prediction League, FPL. This is Frontline League on Twitter. Frontline Prediction League on this YouTube channel. Like, favorite, subscribe. This is a weekly show hosted by yours truly and BeerMe Jesus. We basically will recap and preview upcoming stuff, and also go over things like some rule stuff and type of things like that. It's a little kind of in kayfabe type stuff with the storylines that happen based on the predictions. We're not our characters because we're both in the league, because of course we are. We even had a match on this show because of course we did, and things went a certain way because of course it did. But this with the Forbidden Door, okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. We're going to talk a little bit about it. I've got some details. BeerMe doesn't. He's not part of the owner stuff like myself. CT, Red, and GMSG. We're going to do a war room actually next week to really go over the details about it. So the full specifics about how it's going to work beyond what I'm going to say here, because I'm going to say some stuff to kind of like get things on the right path so people know what's what, and then kind of go from there, because our character chat has been going nuts. Our normal chat has been going nuts. For those not aware of those, go into our Discord link down below. You can come into the Frontline Prediction League, and you'll see we have a live event chat for things like Dynamite happening right now. Dan hasn't just debuted. There's things like the character chat, which is in-character stuff, as if promos and whatnot. Our rules and stipulations page, our match results, which is where this is exactly, the booking page you'll see in a second. And just general chat as well. There's a memes one. There's a spoilers one for stuff like that, for tapings, like Impact tape on the weekend stuff. It's all in there. Lots of stuff. So it's a fun community we have. So the reason I'm saying all this is because Forbidden Door. We're actually doing it. We're actually doing a thing where we're having people from outside come in. Because that's the gimmick of AEW and New Japan. But we'll come back to that. But I'm saying this because I want people who are in the FPL to show this to people who aren't, who might want to come in through the door or join up. But we already have some people interested. We already have a match, actually, for it. And people, they can learn what this thing is through this. So, yeah. So let's dive in, BeerMe, to Backlash first, because this has to happen first before the rest actually comes. This is the results of it, and people can get a feel for what happens here. Backlash was this weekend, and our insane results have something right at the top there. BeerMe, first I'll scroll to this side, because the must-see good guys, BeerMe Jesus and the GMSG, who's beaten me 12 times. I beat him once. He's made sure I didn't win 12 times. Beat me and Red, match of the night, to win the FPL Continental Tag Team Championship. And you can see over my shoulder, that belt, it's no longer mine. Can't use it in promos now. You guys won. Yeah, you beat us. You beat us pretty handily. We did a split. We didn't work out. But also, Bastion, your stablemate in FBU, beat Costner to win back the world title. Cool. We'll get back to that, because I scroll up and there's another match that happened. CJ Hawk cashed in Money in the Bank. BeerMe.
He did.
So the main event was the new world champion, CJ Hawk, dethroning Bastion. And it was, he needed that 10 points from the cash in because it was 28-28. It became 38-28. So, yeah. For those guys who didn't know, CJ Hawk won Money in the Bank last year and had until this July when SummerSlam happened to cash it in because we didn't have a champion yet. It's in our histories. You can go back and read it. It's all in there. It's awesome. But CJ Hawk is the world champion, BeerMe. FBU did not end the night with all the gold.
We had it for a split second. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it was going to happen sooner or later, right? Like, I mean, it's better to have it than not have it, I guess.
Yeah. First ever two-time champion is Bastion. Shortest reign is Bastion. Second reign. We never did decide on an official time. I just kind of put 5 minutes in my notes because that seems about the length of the match. But yeah, we'll go through chronologically when we get there to the end. But yeah, Bastion did win the world title under the normal circumstances and then lost it in Money in the Bank. We have the Continental Tag titles. Like I said, Red and I lost it after a month, 35 days I think it was, to you guys. You are now tag team champions. BeerMe, congratulations to yourself and the GMSG.
You guys are hell of opponents. Hey, it came down to the last match. So, I mean, it
really did.
It was anybody's game.
It was legitimately really close, even though it says 56-33. But at the last second, you guys got not only the right winner, but you got the right bonus. And like a tag bonus, and it just went up too much. We couldn't recover. I did split the vote a bit. That was our strategy, how we won the titles. Because we knew our opponents really... This is how it gets. We knew our opponents usually go in together, Surf Dog and Michael Marsh. They usually go like side by side for their picks. So we split it a bit, because even if we get one wrong, the other gets it right? And that's a way to gamble, because if we think they're going to get it wrong, we'll still get something, and it works. We tried that here, but we knew how dangerous that was, because we know how you guys do your picks, and how like very specific FBU gets. I took the gamble. Every one of my gambles was wrong. So I got 2 matches right. Red got 5 out of 6. It was bad. Even if I did get them right, I think it wouldn't have been enough points for the ones I got right, so it still wouldn't have mattered. You guys are just that good. So, yeah. I felt real bad, though, because I cost our team. Yeah. But congratulations.
No, I mean, like I said, it was right up to the end, Like, if RK McBro would have won, you guys would still be tag champions.
Yeah, the math was there. Yeah, it was like how it went.
Because we were up by 11, and even if they pinned Roman, who nobody picked, you guys had 12 points. You would have won by a point. Because I was like, GMSG, he's like, we're gonna win no matter what. And I was like, we can lose by a point, and he's like, oh yeah, shit, never mind.
The BeerMe special. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we want the titles back. We're not leaving this division. It was close. It was competitive. We'll be back. We'll see what happens. We're not next in line, or we might be. Like, I don't know who the next actual contenders are. We're doing booking stuff and coming up, but we're definitely going to be in the hunt to get these back. We only had them for a month, and it's our first defense, so that's not exactly a strong run compared to the other teams, right? But we'll get back there. We'll get them back. It'll be good. We do have our FPL North American Clash. This is a tournament, again, for those new. One half is the American side, one half is the Canadian side. American and Canadian. The American stuff is Hardcore Division for the American Championship. The Canadian side is Watson Rules, which is very pure ROH style, with no bonuses until the very end if necessary. And that's how that side goes. We have a tournament with 4 on each, and then the winner of both brackets will face, and the winner of that gets to challenge either the American champion or Canadian champion, whomever that may be, because both are being defended in the next coming month or two. I think it's SummerSlam. I truly don't remember at this point. We might have an NXT show getting added too. It's getting nuts, but we'll see. But Camp Alpasone and Monkey Bong went to a no contest. Time limit draw on a Watson Rules. And that means that their points were the same. And then we go to bonuses. And we go in the order of the bonuses until one's different from the other. And if nothing changes, like if they're even, so say they both got a bonus wrong, like if it was, the very first one was who gets the tag in the 6-man tag. And the first tag, I think, was Jay. Well, if one put Riddle and one put Drew, 0. Okay, next bonus. But if one had put Jay, 1 point, it's 21-22. Monkey Bong wins, or whomever, right? That's how that goes. So we got a draw. So both advance. We'll get there. The hardcore side had Mad Elite Titan beat Chef Urban. I know we're both very surprised by that because we thought he would get it. And it's a hardcore match. But Mad Elite defeating, I think, the American favorite on the bracket in Urban. I expected him to go all the way, so that's kind of stunning to me. What do you think on that?
Yeah, a little bit. I remember, like I said before the brackets came out, I said Urban would probably win it. And then when I seen he was facing Matt Elite, I was like, you know what, maybe Matt Elite's going to win. And I picked him. And then, like, this last week, I was like, nah. I was like, he ain't going to win. I'm going to pick Chef Urban. So, I mean, that's a big win for Matt Elite Titan. And I think he's the big wild card in all this tournament now.
He is. He is. I'll just mention the other side of the American just because we know who the Canadian side is. To finish this part out, Detrick Cyrus did defeat Modstep. Modstep was probably the odds-on favorite otherwise from historic perspective on how well he's done in matches.
Yeah.
Like, he was always the runner-up for a lot of JRPL matches back 2 years ago now, into 3 years prior. But Detrick Cyrus, winner of the ladder match to get here, he won also. So it's almost like the two favorites on the American side are gone. And that's the beauty of a tournament sometimes, because now you've got Mad Elite Titan versus Detrick Cyrus. And I really like that matchup. That's very good. I don't know what to go with that. Because will Mad Elite keep upsetting it, or will Detrick go all the way? I don't know. I don't want to do all that too much, because that when we get to where that match is in the future, we'll really break that one down. We're going to go over the results first here. And the other side of this was the Canadian side, Tino, advancing to a triple threat over Lexi Briggs in the other Watson rules. So Tino, he was actually at the event and had a blast, and it was fun talking to him afterwards. He called us live from the Discord indoor voice chat when Cody was on the table. that's how nuts that was. Yeah. That's how crazy that was. But yeah, he had fun, and he won. He advanced. So he's moved on as well, and I think we did pick Tino, but we were hoping for Lexi as well. Not that we don't like Tino, but I wanted Lexi to do well in advance in this and get a shot. So, bit of a bummer there, but Tino has advanced to face Cam and Monkey Bong with a hell of a triple threat at a future date, and we'll get there shortly. Now, CJ Hawk, he beat RGX, and this was a very important match. This is a crazy one, because RGX has challenged and focused on the world champion, even so much so that after Bastion won the title, RGX, despite his loss here, went after the world champion with Honor Club attacking FBU. So, Honor Club's probably got eyes on those tag titles, and you've got them, and that just happens to be a thing. But RGX doesn't care who the world champion is. I've been exactly that guy, not caring who has the gold, just wanting the belt. That was my character for like a year and a half, so I love that RGX is basically doing that without my prompting, to be honest. Even though it would have been, I'm like, this is good, this is good. But he's in there, going after it, but Hawk got the win here. And after that attack in the main event, Hawk cashed in. Bastion put up a bit of a fight, but 5 minutes later, new world champion. So RGX cost Bastion the title. And you got to think he would have done the same thing to Costner. He doesn't care who it is. He's going after that. This loss hurt, because if he had a win over CJ Hawk on a main show and Hawk went on to win the title, you got to think CJ Hawk versus RGX rematch for the title, right? Like, that's the old classic Owen Hart beats Brett, but Brett wins the title at Mania. Let's go to SummerSlam. World title, right? Like, that could have legitimately been where we're at. So, unfortunately, RGX, he's not quite there. It's goddamn close. It's close. It needs that win, but he's doing damage all the while, which is almost like how I was at one point when I was on a losing streak, but I kept hurting people. So that's going back 2 years too. But now we'll get to the other stuff that happened in that match when we go through the write-up. Let's keep going. The Brits, BeerMe, they won. They beat Honor Club. Papa Snooch, J-Mac, and the Gaffer, 62-51 over Honor Club's Rate Wrestle, Smooth Rock, and Alexander McKennedy. Smooth Rock, the Canadian champion, no less, and the first and long-time American champion, Alexander McKennedy, got beat by the Brits. I don't want to say this in a super negative way. Forgive me, guys. I don't mean it this way. But the Brits, those guys, have been pre-show staples. And here they come. Like you said, you knew this. You called this. You want to see how they're going to be as a trio. Now, they lost to us, Red and I, in a 2-on-2. But they beat Honor Club straight up on a main show. I can't say anything like, yeah, this is it. This was that turn. This was that corner turn. This is great. This is awesome. I'm stunned. I love it. You were right. 100% right. They did it.
Yeah, they did.
Now, can they do it again and again and again? That's where we go from here. That's what remains to be seen. You've got interesting tag divisions coming after you, BeerMe, because Honor Club are the ones who attacked you, but the Brits beat them. Right? So that tag division's pretty strong right now, plus with us wanting it back. There's still a pair of strays out there. Yeah, things are messy right now in the tag division, and that's good. We've needed teams for so long, so this is some good stuff to get some violent activity going right now. And speaking of, La Familia, James Black and the Alpha Dog beat the Antidote, Dion Blade and Gabby Hitchcock. Pretty handily, too, 51-37. A different team of La Familia than the tag champions. That was Alpha Dog and Detrick Cyrus. Detrick clearly going singles right now. Another big win. Familia is getting back on track. Alpha Dog and Cyrus were tag champs. Maybe he and Black can string this together. Maybe Dion Blade and Gabby can get it going. They didn't win here, but that's still on the right path. Like, get in there, get these matches, get that consistency, and get in there. So, yeah, very, very interesting. I'm excited for the tag division, and it's a very, very good thing right now. Jason Blades, he won a straight-up match. No hardcore, no nothing. He just outright won. He beat Roman Pierce, the #1 contender for the American Championship, might I add, and Victoria Fiore. Now, Victoria has had some issues here and there. She's not quite gotten that real strong win as of yet, but she's out there every damn time trying. But Jace beat Roman. I didn't quite say that right. Jace beat Roman 26-24-19. 2 points is 1 bonus to tie it, or a different bonus 3-pointer to win it. That was very close, but he still got the win. And I don't know if hardcore would have affected it. That does change our points and such, but goddamn, he got that win. And now Roman's going to go on the challenge for the American Championship against, as I scroll down, Broken Nerd, who beat Josh Dionio 21-12. Non-title. But if those two had faced each other, Jace would have beat Nerd 26-21.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. So Roman would have as well. So Roman would have beaten Nerd with that score, and Jace would have beat Roman with that. The hardcore area of our roster, the American division, also very, very strong, and it's very exciting to see what happens. Yeah, this is some crazy, crazy stuff right now. Like I said, the Canadian side of the bracket has a goddamn triple threat, so that's getting full and violent as well. So a lot of championship chaos, and it's good chaos right now. I'm very happy about it. Wookiee destroyed Jonathan C.T. Martin. BeerMe, it was 24-8.
That's not very good.
No. Now, it's I believe his first loss, so it can't be a slide yet.
No.
But
Stop. CT stop, right?
The CT stop, yes. And I say that, he might have actually lost. I know he had a match with Monkey Bung, I think, recently, but I think he beat him. So, yeah, he did lose that one pretty handily, but Wookiee's a monster. Nothing wrong with that. That's good for him. But Wookiee, again, he's kind of pre-showed it a bit, but he did win a Mania. He won here. He's won his last 2 main shows. That's good. That gets you up. That gets you up in the rankings. That's the way to go. Ralentando beat Bane the Bissa 28-26. JJ Rocky beat Sebastian Escobar, #1 contender for the Canadian Championship. Sebastian Escobar. So,
#1.
What's going on here? 22-19. This is crazy. Like I said, the Canadian side's going crazy right now. Sheriff Dog beat Luke Gray 25-22. The Arbiter beat Atlas Kiyama 28-26. The Strays, Michael Marsh and Supreme Rock beat Dakota Alphines, Kier 1 and Payne 37-35. When you got 4 people pulling in points like that, and it's that close, that's crazy. Danny Delight Jordison and Matt Zion went to a no contest, 20-28, and I think that was match of the night as well, which is crazy with Matt. BGH Bowman beat X. Mark Harper beat Kurt Colt. Very rough one there, 24-7. Bowman beat X by a point. Chappers beat Rab by 5. 3G Platinum beats EM Carlito by 5. And Theodore Dr. Seuss Geisel, which Theodore Geisel is actually Dr. Seuss's real name, for those who didn't know, beat Killmonger 8, 25-7. Again, a rough score. Geisel actually debuted, and it was a fun one because with the door stuff, he's just like, no, I'm here. So we got a new guy coming in with that. It's pretty great. A bunch of achievements. Again, for those guys who are new watching this, thank you again. There's all the achievements we have, and there's like a lot of them. We were kind of surprised by how many happened. Theodore Geisel winning his debut, that hasn't happened in a while, where the new guy won their debut. I think, I say that, it probably happened the last debut that we had, but a whole bunch of people have 10 appearances. We got a few who won their 10th match. We got some triple threat win. We got the Watson Rules win for Tino. Win your first tag match for a few guys. Win 10 tag matches. Win a championship. Head of the tables, win the world title. Family for Life tag titles. You guys got that. And got 1,000 points was Escobar. So this is the full write-up. Red, CT, and myself do these. And we often do get stuff from our roster. Specifically, I know Ralintendo does send stuff over. Well, usually with who he's working with, we get some stuff from him as well, specifically. And I'll always say, we always try to use everything. It didn't get used exactly in the spot because we had something else in that point, but we moved it a little bit, and it still got incorporated. So I never want to say no to something, but it might not. It might just be not yet. We'll find a spot, and we'll make it work. Usually as soon as we can. Yeah, if you scroll through here, the kickoff show, the matches are usually shorter on this, a paragraph or two with some details here. There's CT wondering, what did I do? So he's having a bit of a crisis here. Like, his whole campaign to avenge Survivor Series didn't go to plan. He won like 2 matches out of 8. It was bad. I say 8. There was 5 people on the team, but you know what I mean. It felt like that. Mm-hmm. Victoria and Casey had their match. It went violent and ended out in La Familia. Went crazy. Brits and Honor Club, like I said, that was some nuts stuff. Hawk and RGX, very violent, as mentioned. And here we go. CJ Hawk versus RGX Aftermath. So what happened is some guy came out over the barricade with a non-FPL title, and Hawk noticed him, grabbing his briefcase, Mr. Money in the Bank, and the announcers placed it as Madcap from FGP and TWPL. He came out, talked about Hawk being Mr. Money in the Bank, which we all know, Royal Rumble winner, which we all know, and then this guy says that he is too. Madcat comes out and says he won the Royal Rumble. He's the FGP Phoenix champion. And he also will win gold in the TWPL as well. And he has made a challenge for Forbidden Door, Madcat versus CJ Hawk. Forgive me, Madcat. I keep wanting to say Madcap, thanks to Moss. I'm trying not to, and you can probably tell it's actually almost happening every time I do it. The crowd chants yes. Hawk accepts it. And yeah, we've got our first Forbidden Door. Now, again, we'll get into more details after we finish this recap. But if I didn't say I wasn't excited by the prospect of this, I'd be lying. Because this is such a cool thing that we're able to do and pull off. That it's just cool. I love crossovers. Anybody who knows me knows I like crossover stuff, movies, the comic books, you name it, and the Forbidden Door in wrestling the past 2 years has been wild, awesome stuff. So the fact that we're getting to do that, you better believe I'm excited. So, yeah, bring all your belts, bring your stuff. Let's go, and we'll see what happens. I might have to get a promo out there and find somebody to face. We're working on that. But again, we'll get to that. We got to get through this. Modstep and Detrick, they had their match. Tino and Lexi as well. Urban and Mad Elite, and then Cam Popplestone and Monkey Bong going to a draw. And here is our bracket for the next round. So, the FPL North American Clash 2022. I'm trying to make sure this goes. I'm going between screens. Forgive me, that's why it gets light, different colors. Ha! So, Urban is out. Titan moves on. Modstep is out. Cyrus moves on. Titan versus Cyrus will take place at Hell in a Cell. Cam and Monkey Bong both move on. Tino moves on. Lexi is out. Cam versus Monkey Bong versus Tino will also take place at Hell in a Cell. That is on June 5th, Sunday. And Cam, Monkey, and Tino will be another Watson Rules. It is triple threat. We've had one before. Wasn't that great? The sanctity of the Canadian title is we don't want to do those. It's supposed to be just pure one-on-one, but the tournament, we're going to see what happens. But Titan and Cyrus will not just be a hardcore match again, but we'll get to that. There is the Continental Tag Team Championship. You can see me basically sink in despair as I lose yet again the GMSG. And he pinned me. I got the worst score, so I lost. And, yep, that's the story to tell. And then the world title. Is Costner, are you getting residue royalties off of the F Balls Up shirt, BeerMe? Because that was you that he kicked in the balls like 5 times.
It should be. But,
Yeah. But, yeah, I tried to structure this. I always try when I'm writing mine, at least, to structure it where there's a bit of a story told. Like, if you go read the tag title match, it starts without a single strike being thrown for a while and even jockeying for position till a suplex is hit. Yours, it was like, I honestly had just watched Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins 2. And that was fresh in my mind, and I'm like, yes. Especially with Bastion, Seth Rollins doing spooky fingers. Yeah. So I was inspired by that to go breakneck and all out. Because all the Bastion matches I've written over the past while, he's been taking on these big challengers who push him to a limit, but he excels and he exceeds. World Champion's different because World Champion's been seeing him do it. And that was a different way to run, and it's someone who beat him before. And yeah, he won. You guys came out and celebrated, and then CJ Hawk cashed in after Honor Club did what they did. So is Hawk a villain? Is he a bad guy? No. Just an opportunist. You can't fault him for that. After promo of the year, and entrance of the year, rather, at WrestleMania, this is an awesome, awesome thing. He wins. I'm not trying to rub it in on Bastion losing. Don't forgive me, BeerMe, but it was awesome. You got to admit. That's a great way to do it. He seized his destiny. It was the right moment. It would have been cool at WrestleMania, but now we don't need to worry about a world champion having money in the bank. That's just a scary prospect in its own regard. But, yeah, that is WrestleMania Backlash, BeerMe. What do you think of what happened and how it went?
I'm a little upset that Hawk ruined FPU's night, but that's neither here nor there. We'll have plenty more opportunities to have that happen. So
could be 3-time champion, 3-time champ. There you
go. Could. But overall, yeah, lots of good stuff came out of this, and I'm interested to see where it goes next. So,
well, next is Double or Nothing. So now we get to go a little bit into detail about just what the heck is happening in the upcoming bit. So Double or Nothing is a house show. Oh, what, sorry?
Oh, I said I got a match for Double or Nothing.
You got a match? I have none for that. I have Hell in a Cell. So, everything we just talked about here, guys. WrestleMania, Backlash, WWE shows, NXT shows, those are main shows as far as we're concerned. That's where rankings are affected. We don't have a true ranking page, but we look at wins and losses as far as that goes. Like I said, if someone... those guys that beat the American and Canadian champions, we're looking at those going, as far as for contendership and things like that and where it goes, and higher challenges for like the Brits and stuff like that, for the tag titles and things like that. On house shows like AEW, Impact, and ROH, if and when it returns, and there's a logo out, so maybe it will actually be returning, but with pay-per-views, it has to return. But we do the pay-per-views, so like we don't do the Impact Plus little shows, and we don't do like NWA stuff, but we do AEW's 4 or 5 pay-per-views, because Forbidden Door is one now. Impact does 3 or 4 or 5, and of course, my brain just forgot it, AEW, Impact, ROH. And those ones don't count as much. We still look at it. It's actually more story beats. It's more for the idea that we can do crazy stuff here, have a lot of fun with it, and make the story beats happen to get us to the main shows. So you don't need to participate in the house shows. You can, but they're not going to affect you. Most of our roster does. Some people skip those. Some people just don't watch AEW. They don't do it. I know a lot of the Europeans didn't watch ROH. My classic example, because they couldn't get it there. So they didn't participate much, but then they started to anyway because they were just like, yeah, why not? It's fun. It doesn't matter. Doesn't hurt to miss it. Doesn't hurt to try and get it wrong. It's like kayfabe. It matters in kayfabe, but it doesn't really matter as far as us booking it. So that said, Double or Nothing is Sunday, May 29th, and does start our insane period of a lot of shows. We're going to talk about a few of them here. We've got a few matches booked. We have a water slide death match, RGX versus Jonathan C.T. Martin. 2 men on a slide, if you will, literally at a water park. That's one of the best matches I've heard of. We actually did have a match in a abandoned water park. It happened to be a water slide, but this is specific. That's going way back. We also have Redhead 12 my girl, versus Sebastian Escobar, number one contender for the Canadian title, and Sheriff Dog. Unfinished business, apparently, with what's going on here. So there's been some violence back and forth, and they're going to have a triple threat. That's it. That's all we have announced so far. I think no kickoff. Nope, nothing. I don't even have a double or nothing match yet. But you said you do, correct?
Yep. I have one for this and one for Hell in a Cell. So.
Okay, I've got one for Hell in a Cell as well. So let's see what you've got here. What's your match here?
Okay, so I have Dakota Alfine, I have Ralentando, Kier 1, Broken Nerd, and Payne. They will be taking on Honor Club, Rate Wrestle, Alexander McKennedy, Smooth Rock, and Victoria Fiore in a Stadium Stampede hardcore match.
The tradition returns. Yeah, we did a Stadium Stampede last year, and we're going to keep doing it because they're fun. Yeah, Stadium Stampede is going to be insane. I know Red's super excited with that. Red, I believe, wrote, I think, all this, that one, and we did one before, so I think Red's done them all. But it's super fun, and that's going to be insane, and that's the feud that will not die. And now it's going to happen in this, so I'm really pumped to see what happens with that. That's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to that. I'll tell you, I already know what my match is, and I've written it. So, it's not being announced yet. All in good time. All in time. But we'll get there. But let's keep going. Because then after that, we've got Hell in a Cell, June 5th. This show matters. Like I said, this is the actual main show. And we've already got announced the Hell in a Cell match for the FPL American Championship, Broken Nerd versus Roman Pierce. We also have, as mentioned, the second round of, the second round of the NAC death match this time, Mad Elite Titan versus Etric Cyrus, and the North American Clash round 2. Canadian Watson rules, forgive me, I just threw the whole thing out there. Triple threat, Tino, Cam, and Monkey Bong. Again, we'll talk about that next time. When we're previewing that, we'll look at that. And Smooth Rock versus Escobar as well for Watson rules. So 3 Watson rules matches, all there, and 3 hardcores. James Black versus James Costner, Hell in a Cell match as well. It says non-title. Well, yeah, because Costner no longer is champion. So James versus James is now just an absolute grudge match. And this has been a feud that, I mean, they're trying to kill it. You say it will not die. They're doing their damnedest to take each other out. So that is a very violent one I'm looking forward to. We also have a Hell in a Cell match, RGX versus Ralentando. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. That's a lot of Hell in a Cell matches. Don't worry, they're going to be themed. We're going to be taking care of that and making things interesting and unique for this. BeerMe, I'll announce my match for this one that I've got here. We have Shades and Smiles, new world champion CJ Hawk and Lexi Briggs versus new tag team champions, the Must See Good Guys, BeerMe Jesus and the GMSG. It is non-title. But you are facing the world champion. BeerMe. How do you feel about that?
Feels good. Gotta get some retribution, you know?
It's not Bastion, which makes it thematically better. That it's you guys facing him, not Bastion yet. Because Bastion, next time he faces Hawk, is going to want to be for the title, you got to think. So
that's true.
Yeah, so the new world champion and the new tag champions, the FPL Continental Tag Team Championship. Yeah, non-title, but that's a hell of a match if there ever was. I'm looking forward to that on this already stacked card. What have you got to add to this, BeerMe?
I have Sheriff Dog. He will be taking on your stablemate, the Midnight Rider, in an I Quit Hell in a Cell match.
There it is. Lee, my brother, my friend, he has been wanting revenge on Sheriff Dog for a very long time. After Sheriff Dog stomped him into oblivion back in, I think, in Saudi in February? He came back, he's gotten a little bit of revenge, but he's not been going for the wins. He's just been helping out with Infinity, with us. That's my stable. And yeah, he wants Sheriff Dog one-on-one. And you know Sheriff Dog, he's always down for a fight. So that's going to be incredibly violent. And I Quit match, take from that what you will. So yeah, looking forward to that, definitely. But again, we'll talk more about that when we get there. We've got till the end of the month before we start previewing this stuff, so we'll get there. We'll get there in time. Now we keep scrolling through. We've got Slammiversary. No matches to announce for this yet. This is an Impact show, June 19th. Nothing there. Forbidden Door. Now we get into it. So, again, there will be a full War Room, which is the owners of the FPL, myself, CT, GMSG, and Red, next week. Mostly because we just couldn't get together for it this week, and we're still kind of refining a little thing here and there. But I can give some details just to get people kind of reined in, because when this result went out and the door was kicked open, it went nuts, and it's awesome. Red said it best. We're excited that you're excited. Yeah, it's such a cool thing. Now, the specifics here, it is FPL and others. It's kind of like, I think someone said, FPL versus the world. Come one, come all. Think of it like Impact. How Impact had AEW come in, and they had New Japan come in, and they had people come. NWA did it too. Like it's that kind of thing. Others are coming in. Others are coming in from outside. That's the key. Others are coming in. The specifics of this is you cannot play a different character, and I'm reading this. You cannot play a different character of yourself, but you can be yourself with things from other leagues if you're the same person. The best example, BeerMe, is you're a world champion somewhere else, right? But it's you.
Yeah.
So you could bring that belt. It's still you. I know. I'm not going to name names, but I've been talking with someone. He knows who it is, but I'm not going to spill any beans. But someone was saying that they have a different character elsewhere, and they wanted to be that character here. It's like you can't play that character because you're already your character here, right? Like because all our stuff and all our stats and all our picks are based on you, the player, the person. So you've already got a thing here. That's kind of the problem with that. But you can always peel back that curtain and reveal that actually it is the same. And my example for that is think like Mick Foley in different gimmicks. It's like, oh god, that's actually him. Or my favorite was MLW had Matanza come out for like this War Games thing, an attrition match. He came out and took his gear off, and it was Jeff Cobb. Now, people knew that Jeff Cobb played Matanza back on Lucha Underground, but then he became a big star as Jeff Cobb. So what he did was he came out as Matanza with the gimmick with Dario Cueto, and it was like, I'm actually Jeff Cobb, and they peel back the curtain, and it's him. You could do that. You could be like, I'm a different character over here. I'm gonna go over here, and it's still me. Like blur those lines, but it is absolutely still you here with elements of the other. That makes sense, right, BeerMe?
Yeah. Yep, yeah. I get what you're putting down.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys here have characters elsewhere. Bring your belts. Bring your stuff. I think the funniest thing, actually, BeerMe, is I learned that you're opponents with someone here in this league, but you're in the same faction somewhere else. And that gets to be amazing storytelling for this. It's like, what? Who do I team with? What side? What do I do now, right? Because they're waving that flag, and you're like, oh, but when I go over there, it's that kind of thing. It's that kind of thing. So please keep that in mind, guys. It's more a level of that. We're looking for true outsiders, welcoming them in for like a one-off, and they're welcome to stay. But it is FPL. It's FPL stuff. So you gotta sign up. You gotta do the profile pick, and it is first come first serve. So if you want Bret Hart, sorry, I got him. Stuff like that is already there and already taken. So please keep that in mind. If you have anything as far as ideas or specifics or whatever, go through CT. And people have been coming to me with stuff, and I say, that's awesome. Tell CT. Because he is actively spearheading the whole goddamn thing from the owner's side to work out who's coming in, what kind of match to do with it, where they're from, all that stuff. Now, full credit with James Costner, former world champion. I don't want to put the former on there, but I do. It's happened. He spearheaded a lot of this from the actual legwork of going out there and getting interest and coming back with names. So he and CT have been doing a lot on that. So Costner, thank you for this. I know he said he wanted to do this for a long time. He was pretty certain it wouldn't happen to JRPL, and he's right. And FPL was too new until now, and he's right. We didn't even do a tournament for the first year because it was too new. But now we got an event called Forbidden Door. It's perfect. I'm all in on this kind of thing. It's awesome. The specifics for what the kind of matches are going to be and the stuff will come next. Next week. I do have one little thing here. All of your points, again, the reason, all your points are FPL points. So if you're coming over with your character blending type thing, like it's Mick Foley, but he's Mankind, but it's Mick Foley here. We know him as Mick Foley. You're getting points, even though you're playing your character. It's that kind of thing. Please go through, like I said, with the sign-up stuff. Please, CT's even set up a separate form for the outsiders, so we have stuff we can do our write-ups, because as you saw, they're very detailed. So we need to know, like, what your character is, what kind of stuff they do, what kind of finishers, what kind of characters, stuff like that, so we can mix it up with ours to make it the best it can be. It's a lot of work for a house show, but it's looking like a one-off, so it's going to be an awesome, fun thing to do. Now, unless you do some of the stuff, the points and win, all that stuff, will not be put with our own stuff. And the reason we say this is because GMSG does all our stats. He does all that crazy stuff. And it's very, very important those things are accurate and done right. What I'm basically saying is if someone comes in for a one-off, like Mad Cat here, and wants to stick around, he can. After 5 shows, we make a profile, and things happen, like anybody else signing up for the first time. So that's welcome, and this is the best way to come in from the start. And it counts towards AEW as a normal show. So that's stuff that we kind of worked out and just wanted to throw in there for trenches for now, just to temper expectations a little bit with how crazy and fun this is. And yeah, basically, I'm just reading to make sure I didn't miss anything. Unless you do the stuff proper with the profile stuff, you won't even have stats. So if Mad Cat doesn't even sign up with stuff, yeah, he's there, but he's not going to get points and stuff. It's not going to actually count towards anything because we need you to fill it out. But we know you're an outsider. You're like coming in on contract. So yeah, we know the realistic aspect of this. So, all that said, CJ Hawk, the world champion of the FPL, versus Mad Cat, the Phoenix champion of the FGP, I think it was. I love the fact that I have to think of that now. That's a match. That's likely our main event, provided he doesn't lose it before then. You never know what happens at Hell in a Cell or in NXT if they have one. We might have it, but it might not be till Money in the Bank when we have that first defense. BeerMe, what's your thoughts on this, on Forbidden Door as a concept with what we're doing here? What are you feeling here?
I think it's pretty cool. I'm into it. It's definitely something different that you really wouldn't expect. Mm-hmm. So I'm all for it.
You gonna blur some lines, bring over a belt or something? Maybe.
It's possible. I got one.
You're a world champion somewhere else, right?
I am.
Yeah.
It's true.
I say this. I know a lot of guys in our Discord are in multiple leagues. Like some are in literally multiple other ones. I'm nowhere else. I'm just here. And I had a character. This is years back. This is like high school, and I'll say it. I'm old, but I had a character that was called originally the Dark Horse Arthur Essex, and he's like, there's like a submission kind of wrestler, same as what I do. I like Bret Hart, that's my style. And he did his things, and he turned heel and became Excellent Arthur Essex. And Essex, I literally got from a street sign of a picture in England. I thought that's cool. Yeah, I like that, Arthur Essex, good name. And I used that, and that was the character. That would be like an old character that is actually me, from my indie days. Because it is what I based my character on now with the JRPL from 2019, 2017, whatever it was. Because that's where the cross-sword submission hold, my finisher, came from. That's the kind of stuff that I like to see with this. That said, I've only ever been in that old one, the JRPL, and this. I did do a brief stop in the LWPL. Attacking GMSG specifically, because I was a heel. Never actually competed, but I did invade. All I'm saying is the Forbidden Door can go both ways, and I'm on board to see what's out there. Let's see what can happen. That's not even in character. I'll do an in character promo for that as well. Don't you worry. But yeah, let's have fun with this. Let's go nuts. I say that. CTL hooked me up. He's been the one working everything out. I go through him for everything. He's got this handled. So, BeerMe.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to representing the FPL as our Continental Tag Team Champions with my wife, Red, in this Forbidden Door situation. But I gotta be honest, the fact that it's you and the GMSG are our tag team champions, I feel pretty good about who's waving the flag, not gonna lie, in regards to that. Because you guys are damn good. Hard to beat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So don't fuck it up.
Right, yeah. We'll try not to.
I was looking forward to Bastion as well. The FBU, like you guys are that's it. You're like Evolution running the ship, and then Hawk, but Hawk's got stuff with Mad Cat. Yeah.
Yep.
So all I'll say is, guys, Frontline, for all you outsiders who are watching this, and thank you for watching and staying this long with it. But Frontline is named after a thing that BeerMe and I made for the JRPL called JRPL Frontline. When we broke away from that and created the Frontline Prediction League, it's based on that name, Frontline. So Frontline is basically something that I named. My house. You better believe I'm going to defend my house and wave that goddamn flag against any outsiders. Bring it. I love this concept, and you better believe I want someone worthy of that. So I'm not going to lie. I'm expecting an ambush at Double or Nothing, and I welcome it. Let's go, because I will go elsewhere and raise havoc as well. So, BeerMe, if you're somewhere else and you see me there, it's all good. I got it.
Right?
It's all good. It's all good, because I've never done anything else like that. So that's why it's extra fun for me to be like, oh God! It's like, oh God, Sting's in WWF. It's like that. It really is kind of like that with me and my gimmick. So, yeah. I'm rambling now, which is also part of what the FPL in the Trenches show is. So, again, everybody, there you go.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. We'll have more, obviously, next week with the actual War Room. At this point, I don't know how much more I can actually say about that, because we kind of covered a lot of it here. But I will say one other thing is regarding our submissions. So when we do this stuff, we do put out our picks page, usually after the go-home show. Generally, it's after, like, Impact on Thursdays or NXT on Tuesdays for one of their shows, formerly Takeovers. Dynamite on Wednesdays. Rampage is usually too late, plus it's taped, so we try to keep that in. We do officially go based on whatever has been broadcast, so even if something is changed on a taping, we wait till the official stuff comes. And it's always from .com, like WWE.com or ImpactWrestling.com. We don't go by their Twitters. Generally, like we'll still use WWE Twitter for some stuff for info like timing and that, but official stuff is from the website because that's got the full details, obviously. We don't use the Fox Twitter, even though it's fun and things like that. We have our deadline is 1 hour prior to the pre-show. So if the show's at 8, like this past weekend, 8 Central, so 8 Eastern, the pre-show was at 7, our deadline is 6. There you go. If a match changes from between the picks page goes out and that deadline, we just pull it out and everything adjusts. So if you put confidence points on those 6 matches and you think the Bloodline's going to win with 6 points, but then something happened and they pulled the women's title match, well, now that 6 is a 5 because everything descends automatically. If the match changes as in participants or gets pulled entirely, it just goes away. After the deadline, 6 o'clock or whatever that hour before the pre-show is, or the buy-in, or the countdown 2, or the hour 1, or whatever they call it, after that point, if the deadline's hit and a match changes, it's just gone. And your 8-pointer is poof gone. You don't lose in your stipulations, something like that happens, it just goes away. So if they said, all right, Roman Reigns isn't competing, Brock Lesnar's in the 4-way, now it's a 5-way, cool. The fact they did that at 6:01 p.m. meant that we lost 2 of our matches. Poof, poof. They both went away. Because it was after our deadline and gone. That's it. We don't adjust it where it's still the world title match. We don't do that. It's gone. Bonuses can still sometimes apply. Because it might be like, who pins Big E? And there's other. We do keep that in there. So if you put other, hey, you still got it because Brock did it. Or whatever the case may be. So we do have that kind of stuff so you guys know. Now, the thing with resubmitting, we are doing a full thing with this. I know this came up because we do keep a lot of stuff from the JRPL days, which is over a year now, and it's a weird thing to say that, but a lot of this came from that with formatting and style and such. With the JRPL stuff, the way that would work is once your picks start being submitted, there'd be a web page showing everybody's picks with the championship ones blocked out because that could lead to cheating. Because, BeerMe, if you were putting in your championship picks now, and I put them in after you, I knew what you picked, and I could try to mathematically do whatever. You can do it whatever, but that's cheating for a title. Well, we don't put up a picks page like that. We don't put that out until deadline. Everybody's in. Here's everybody's picks, and you can see them there. And I do a spreadsheet, and I know a bunch of people do. Vitamin as well. James Costner does those. And we have our live event scoring in our live event chat. But that's all a very important part of things as to why we didn't bother with some stuff. Because if nobody sees it, it doesn't matter. There they are. So the GRPL did not allow resubmissions because once they're there, they're there. That's it. We did. And we kind of didn't at first simply because we were carrying it over. I never thought of it. Picks are in, picks are in. BeerMe puts picks in, it's always the joke, 5 minutes before deadline. Because that's when he's done and saw all the changes and the Twitter posts and read the rumors and saw all the dirt sheets. And I think this. You might even get like a match lineup or what's going to be on the pre-show or what's the main event. You get these details that you might have gotten on Thursday, right? That kind of thing. So that's how those picks can go in. And some people were resubmitting and changing stuff up. Now, to be fair, we are doing a full detailed breakdown of how changes go, but we do try to look for it. Like if we see, hey, you put 2 6-pointers, you got to change one of those, because if you left it that way, whatever first 6-pointer happened, you'd get those points, and the other one's gone. So, for example, if you put 6 points on Charlotte beating Ronda, you got that wrong, you lose. If you also put 6 points on the Bloodline beating RK Bro and Drew, well, that 6-pointer is gone because you already had a 6-pointer, and that's your duplicate. You get me? So we try to catch that. CT does go through it, and Red and GMSG. I actually don't look at any of that stuff, but they do. They try to go through it, and it's not perfect. They're not going to find it every time, but they try to go through it and see it. If there's mistakes, we can work with that and try to figure it out. We try to make this stuff fun, really. This is the best way to put it. But there's times when people will resubmit. And I know someone asked, and CT had said, there's no harm in it, so why not? We'll just take the newer one. And that's what we'll do. If there's more submissions, we'll just take the last one, because clearly you did it again. Whatever. The only ask there is, yeah, you can do it, but just be reasonable. Like, don't do it 5 times. Just if you're always going to be changing your mind and waiting, I get it. You want to put picks in to make sure you don't miss it. Awesome. As soon as you can, done. You can revise it later, but don't continually do it. Is a simple ask. We're not going to say you can't, but just don't, because it makes a huge mess on the back end. It's just a courtesy thing. Now, some people thought they couldn't do it, and they're upset that they didn't know that. There's not much I can say to that. If you asked, we would have said, yeah, but why? What's going on? Was there a mistake? Because it's easier. We can just go, oh, you actually wanted to put a different... We can fix that one thing. It saves a whole resubmission, but the whole big resubmission thing is what it is. There's ways about it. Like I said, there's a full document coming. CT is formatting it properly. He's going to have that ready into our rules and stuff down below in our Discord. So just want to get that out there as well, because I know there was discussion over that over the weekend because someone was resubmitting a lot and others didn't think they even could. And it's regretful. I wish that it was more known, because it was how it was in GRPL days where you simply couldn't because you couldn't. But with this, it's like, you can, why not? But it wouldn't necessarily change a lot of stuff. But just do it later as well. Like, do the BeerMe method 5 minutes before, or 10 sometimes. You've gotten better about it, but...
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, we understand, though, they're like, we want to cover things. If there's ever problems, we want to address it and work with it. Because we saw what people were saying. We saw what people wanted out of it. We saw what people wanted us to do about it. And I have to admit, sometimes we can't. And I know people would look at it and say, oh, like I mentioned that Brock Lesnar thing. Oh, we should just change it so you can say other, like, Brock Lesnar could be the winner. It's like, no, that's too much work to say, hey, everybody, resubmit your picks right away for that. Because some people aren't even watching. They might be at work and not see it until, like, hours later. They can't resubmit. We got to have deadlines and rules for it. The one little thing is, after that deadline happens that hour before the pre-show, there is a 15-minute window where you can still submit late, but you're at a -5. And that could be a win or loss for some of these matches, like you saw here with those scores. As far as for stipulation matches, sometimes it doesn't even work because an Iron Man match goes on number of matches right. -5 means you can get a maximum of 1. Like, it's case by case. We'll look at it as it comes. But that's why I always say, we do this show weekly, BeerMe. get your picks in. Get your picks in. Get your picks in. Here's your deadline. So please, 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 go by that. Abide by those. Try to get them in. We will always be reminding you every single week that we're here. We can. We were the runner-up for a Kayfabe Award because of that by doing this weekly show, BeerMe. So, yeah, it's pretty great, and I appreciate that from you guys. It's our own awards, but still, it's voted on by our peers. But, yeah, just get the picks in, and don't, it's just a courtesy. Don't flood it. Like, imagine anybody who's done school or work gets emails. Just imagine getting the same document 5-6 times. You're like, oh, I don't... You'll delete it and you'll keep the last one. I know it's a thing, but it goes into a form which feeds into a thing, and it's a hassle to fix it. I know I'm sounding like, oh, poor us, but you get it, right? Like, if you want to get your picks in and be safe, cool. You're gonna revise them 5-6 times. Just do it once or twice. That's all. I know it's a silly thing to be like, please, but yeah. On that note, we're done. That's it, BeerMe. That's an hour, which, for the record, is longer than the show normally is. Not only about a half hour. It's going to get longer, though, because after this, BeerMe, after Double or Nothing, it's going to be like a show a week with a double show potentially with NXT on a double weekend, which means we're going to be recapping and previewing every week for the month of June.
No. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. But that said, I hope everybody who's new to this sticks around. Come in for the Forbidden Door and watch out in your home promotions. And stick around, because you're welcome to. Absolutely. Just fill everything out right, properly. And you could stick around. You could challenge for some stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't see why you should stop bringing some belts over. You want to bring a belt over and wave it around? Go for it. Just remember, this is the FPL. This is Frontline House. This is our style. It's going to be our way. But, we can work with that with character stuff. It can be a lot of fun. I love doing that kind of stuff, so we can definitely make it work. But this is the Frontline Prediction League, Frontline League on Twitter. This is the YouTube channel. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that fun stuff. The Discord is down below. Go in there. Sign up for all that stuff and any Forbidden Store stuff. Forbidden Store, Forbidden Door, Forbidden Snore, whatever you want to call it. Please, 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 get that to CT. You can send it to me and I'll be like, that's neat. Please send it to CT. Please send it to CT. I'll say it again. Please send it to CT. What do you have to say about that, BeerMe? Anything for upcoming challenges or potential people?
I welcome anybody who wants to come and challenge the champs. Let's see what you got.
I will tell you, we're not going to have any title matches to newcomers coming in. That's not fair to our own roster.
That's true. But I mean, you know what I mean.
And our belts aren't going nowhere.
Not for the title, but yeah. No, but I meant like, you know.
Yeah. Come on, you want to see if you can hang with the best? We're here. We're ready for it. We're welcome to it. This is our house, and we will defend it. Better believe it. So again, thank you everybody for checking this out. It is the Frontline Prediction League. Have a good night.